Hey, good evening. And you've reached the Sprout and Dusty Show. I'm one part of your co-host, Sprout the Anti-Hero, and with me as always is Mr. Dusty Grant. How you doing, brother?
I'm having a great week, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good myself. We got a great show for you guys today. Most certainly one of show I've been looking forward to. We got Matt Frampton on the show today with us. He's a world-renowned pizza pimp and barbecue player. He knows what he's doing with the things and the smoker and the pizza ovens. You know, he's got some products he's going to come on the show and talk to all of us about. But hey, thank you guys for joining.
So Sprout, what's your week entailed? How's it been going for you this week? What have you been thinking about? What's on your mind?
A lot of things actually. I've got things on my mind as along the lines of changes. I've been listening to music a lot, which I always do. It got me curious as to greatest hits albums, actually.
Okay.
Do you guys out there like greatest hits albums? Are you disappointed by them? Do you wish artists wouldn't do them, or do you wish record companies would just stay away from altogether? I mean, for example, a couple of months ago, I bought this Creedence Clearwater Revival best of, collection on vinyl, and it had everything that you would want to hear as a CCR fan, except "Born on the Bayou," which is freaking ridiculous. Like, I understand it's a John Fogerty thing, and I know a lot of people have beef with John Fogerty, but little did I ever think that we were going to be on this show talking about John Fogerty. But John Fogerty is pretty much his deal. If you look at the packaging and you look at everything, it's pretty much been supervised by him. And the only thing I can make out about why Born on the Bayou is not on that greatest hits album is because he didn't write it himself. It seems like everything he wrote personally was on this record. But what do you guys think? I mean, do you guys have a hard time finding all the stuff you like to listen to on greatest hits albums?
I do. I don't necessarily look for a greatest hits album from an artist that I already listen to, because I already know all their songs, and I personally like to hear their B-sides and the stuff on the rest of their albums, and not just the radio stuff or the the really popular stuff. So I don't usually seek out I usually don't seek out a greatest hits album, but when I find them useful is that if it's an artist that I haven't really dove deep into, and then someone's like, "Man, you haven't listened to whoever it is, whatever band it is. If you haven't listened to Pink Floyd, man, get their greatest hits." and then you buy the greatest hits album, and then you get a taste of what that band is like, and then if you like that, then you can dive deeper into their other work. I think that's where the greatest hits comes in handy. As an existing fan of a band that I've already followed their careers, I'm not crazy about the greatest hits stuff.
So we got a comment from James Wyrick that says, "I really don't like the popular radio stuff." Well, I don't really like a lot of it either. But I guess radio format's a little bit different for me because I'm just kind of tired of it. I've been tired of it a long time ago. A good example, my first wife and I were driving down the street, and Pink Floyd's Time came on the radio. And that's all we listened to at the time. It was KRZZ in Wichita at the time. And I turned it up. And my ex turned the radio off. I'm like, "What the hell are you doing?" Like, "This is Pink Floyd's Time." She goes, "I've heard this song every day since 1974. I'm like, it makes sense to me.
Yeah,
so
I understand. Just wear it out. They just wear everything
I understand.
out.
Right. I understand now. Okay. But back then I didn't understand it so much. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of the greatest hits album unless it's an artist that I haven't really delved deep into. Before we get on with anything else, guys, please share the show. Please start watch parties, share it in any groups that you might have that might be interested in this content. Our guest tonight is a super diverse guy. He's done a lot.
Oh yeah.
He's a musician. He's a food expert. He's just an all around awesome guy. So please do us a favor. It helps our sponsors. It helps us. So please share it. Start watch parties. Speaking of sponsors, Big Fish Bail Bonds, thank you for representing the Sprout and Dusty Show. If you guys get in trouble and you're in the Wichita, Kansas area, please call Big Fish Bail Bonds. They're the #1 bail bondsman in the Wichita area. 316-262-4100, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Have your loved ones wake up at home because jail sucks. Speaking of jail, if you, I'm going to try to do a segue here. People are trying to make us sound like we're professional. I want to sound. They're telling me it's sounding professional, so I want to be professional and do a real.
Thank you, Jules.
A real professional segue. I guess it's not a good segue if you have to say it's a segue, but you can end up.
What's going on, Jacob?
You can end up in jail by breaking into someone's house. So this week. I've been battling some allergies and a sinus infection and stuff, and I was taking some allergy medicine. And I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday night. I was sleeping really deep, and I woke up about 4:15 in the morning because I heard something get knocked over in the kitchen. And I didn't know if I was dreaming. I didn't know if it was the allergy medicine, whatever it was. I sprung up, but I noticed my wife sprung up right next to me in bed. And I'm like, "Did you hear that?" And she's like, "Yes." So I got right out of bed. I got in crouch mode and I started going out there. And I went out, searched the kitchen, looked out into the family room, all that type of stuff. And then I kept walking through the kitchen. I went over to check the laundry room. I turn around and it's pitch black in the house. I turn around and I didn't know my wife was right behind me. And I turned around and she was within 3 feet, 4 feet of me. And she's got black hair and stuff too. So you're thinking it's like what's that show? The Ring?
The Ring. Yeah, that's what it was. The Ring.
And I was like, Jesus, baby, almost got clocked. And from that time on, man, the adrenaline was pumping so hard, I couldn't go back to bed, and that's kind of for my week. It was a wild week.
After you punched your wife, she would have stabbed the shit out of you, right?
Yeah. No, that would have been a pretty bad move.
Oh man,
but also, so bad. I mean, how come you're going to be up behind me when I'm like thinking I might have to go with somebody, and you're sneaking up right behind me?
You got to announce yourself like, look, I'm going to be right behind you. Yes. You got to do that before you leave the room.
And exactly. And that got me thinking. Then that got me thinking about a strategy. And I'm like, we need to talk about our strategy if something does happen.
For real. Everybody does. Everybody
does. We're going to put the weapons and everything and all that shit. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. But man, that's like a microcosm of my week. It's just been a wild week, man. It's been a wild week. It's been a good week, but it's been a wild week.
That's what's up.
So who's coming on tonight?
Tonight we have a man with a plan. He's the Ayatollah of the pizza dough roller. He is the master of barbecue and pizza disaster. He's Mr. Matt Frampton himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Frampton, the urban slicer. Never been nicer.
Slicer.
The entire
can't be no nicer.
Oh my God, what is going on? That was an amazing intro. Check out this irony.
Okay.
A pizza delivery guy broke into my house this week and stole my Pink Floyd Greatest Hits album.
No.
He needs to die. I tell you that. He's got to die.
It's such a coincidence that we have you on the show.
It's such a coincidence. Yeah. How's it going, guys?
It's been going good.
Man. Thanks for being here, brother. Thanks for being here.
Oh, man. It's awesome to see you both. Dusty, I know we've been friends for a long time, and I saw you both play here in Omaha at the same show, and that was super cool to see. So it's great to be here.
Hell yeah, man! Cool. We're honored and privileged to have you on tonight, man. It's great to catch up. I know you and I have done some catching up on the side a little bit, but it's been pretty much undeniable. Been watching you, explode your new brand and watching you with the pizza videos.
Holy cow, that stuff is fantastic.
I mean, I'm not looking at the numbers. I mean, you're obviously gaining some definite interest on social media and stuff. Like, those aren't the numbers I'm looking at. I'm looking at the pizzas and the stuff in the videos.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that is an airy crust. That is a fluffy, airy, rich crust.
That's what it's all about, brother. It's got to be tasty, right?
Yeah. The foundation has to be there, man. That foundation has to be there. You've got a nice foundation. What's up, Cody? How you doing, dude? Right on, brother. Right on.
People are chiming in already, guys. Please, Matt's pizza recipes are awesome. Hell yeah, man. David, thank you for watching, brother.
David, I appreciate that, man.
The show. But yeah, your stuff has been looking amazing, and your recipes have been looking amazing. And then you've got the barbecue side of things going on too. So before we get to chopping it up too much here, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about what's going on with you, and tell them, give them the Cliff's Notes of how you got to where you are and why we're sitting here now.
Yeah, sure, man. So I've been a competitive barbecue dude for 15 years. This should be the 15th full season, but with the pandemic and everything, we haven't competed as much as we'd like. But super cool hobby as it started. And a few years in, we ended up, my team is Hot Grill on Grill Action. And we sent in, it's myself and three of my lifelong buddies, Ryan Amos, Logan Hendrickson, and Chris Yillick. And we ended up on the Barbecue Pitmaster show season 2.
Cool.
And I sort of latched on to that opportunity to get some sponsorships. And one of them was the Kettle Pizza, which is an insert for a Weber 22 kettle.
Okay.
And I had not really done much pizza cooking in the backyard until then, but man, I fell in love with it right at that moment. And so that was about 12 years ago, and just kind of slowly been at it. It's like been it's a marathon, not a sprint kind of business. Just came out with some recipes and just taught some classes and tried to be helpful online with cooking pizza in the backyard and at home and so forth. So one thing led to another, and this year I launched the Urban Slicer, which is a pizza company. We have a just add water pizza dough mix, and
nice.
We had some cool goals for the first month, and we quadrupled those, and it's just been overwhelming demand and in a good way, and been super fun, cool project.
So you're sold out, right? You have three different kinds of dough, right? So you're sold out of 2 of the 3.
Yeah, that's right. We had a big run, so thousands of pouches shipped out in that first month, and we have a Neapolitan. So that's your kind of traditional wood fire. That's the bubbly one you were talking about.
Yeah.
We've got a outdoor grilling dough, which is like a thin and crispy. And then we have our Detroit deep dish, which is a thicker pan pizza kind of crust.
Okay.
And the Neapolitan and the grilling dough are sold out, and the Detroit's awfully close. So
yeah, I got to get
pretty killer start
on some of that. So what's the turnaround like? So now you did you know that you were going to have to order more, and you have like you're ready to fire, and you can get more supply in. So when people start ordering, you can fill those orders, or is there like a backlog, or how's that work? Since you're so far ahead of where you wanted to be, did you even have a plan for like how you're going to restock so quickly, or is it a pretty short gestation period to create the product?
It's not short, but I'm lucky to I have a couple partners who have been in the barbecue rub and sauce business for a long time, and we didn't think we'd have to reorder maybe even this year, let alone after less than 6 weeks. But we did have a plan, and so our packaging for the next batch just arrived yesterday, actually. So we're going to get started with that, and we should be out and refilling here in about 10 days. I'm hopeful, maybe 2 weeks.
Right.
We'll get a backlog on the stores for the online sales. We just shut those off for now, and as soon as it's back in stock, we'll resume the ability for people to order that.
So most of your sales are in retail?
We have right now we're 60-40. 60% of our sales are to stores that are actually carrying our product. What's up, Wade? And 40% of our sales are right through our online channel. So it's a good blend. I really want to push it to the stores because shipping is ridiculous right now. Amazon has kind of spoiled everybody.
For sure.
And we're not Amazon, man. We're a super small company.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to charge people shipping, but if I ship it to them, I have to. So I'd rather have it in stores everywhere and push people there. So that's my number one priority, is keeping those stores stocked and letting people buy it locally.
So are the stores that you have mostly regionally, like within the Omaha? You're in Omaha, Nebraska, for people that are listening that don't know. But are most of your retail outlets in the Omaha, Nebraska area, or do you have it like how's that work?
Yeah, that's a really cool question and a fun answer. So I have 4 stores in Omaha. I have 27 stores nationwide. I'm in 14 different states and Australia.
Sweet.
And they're mostly barbecue shops. So They sell rubs, sauces, grills, smokers, stuff like that. Where you,
People are grilling pizzas more and more all the time.
yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Because guys like Matt have sweet recipes and they have videos to make people want to grill pizza.
Right.
Because pizza and barbecue. Well, pizza and barbecue. They are the two most party friendly things. They're just they bring people together and they're fun. And
what's not to love?
Pizza? Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
what's not to love, man?
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. I'm glad to. So, like, is this your brainchild? You've been kind of thinking of this for a while, and you just came up with it and developed the branding yourself, and just rolled with it, or did you have help in that, or how's that? I mean, it's your brainchild?
Yeah, the recipes are my brainchild. I've been working on them for 10 years, but I've been really trying to dial in.
Take a while.
They take a long while, and then when you want to try and do something in a package that makes economic sense, it takes even a longer while.
Right.
One of our partners, Brad Jungles, he is an amazing artist. He's done all the artwork on the packaging, and if you've seen the packages, they're really attractive. They stick out on the shelf. I love the packaging, and he's done an amazing job there. Names.
So you're a small operation. How much time do you sit around into marketing and product placement and things like that? How long do you plan for that, and how accessible to other companies as a business such as yours?
So part of my business model the whole way has been to be approachable, responsive, accessible. I have a day job. I'm actually a consultant in banking software for a full-time job, and
nice.
It consumes a lot of time, but this is another full-time job on top of that. Right. I don't want to lose that personal touch that I think has really helped build the Pitmaster side of things, the Pitmaster brand. I want to carry that forward to Urban Slicer, and as long as I can, I want to be the one responding to people and answering emails, answering messages, questions that come up, and being helpful, one-to-one as much as I can.
We're getting like a
musician.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird. It's so weird how you can relate how you can relate it back to that, right? It's like
it's crazy.
It's just there's so many comparisons, but I think a lot of things when you're developing like these grassroots things, like even with this podcast or even with our own music or whatever it is, when you're developing something independently, your personality is your brand. And that authenticity shines through on the product, whether it's music, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a recipe, whether it's barbecue, whether it's whatever it is. When you walk into that company or you do business with whoever that is, or you hire that person to come play, or you watch that podcast, authenticity shines through. And I mean, it's a testament to what you're doing that you're passionate about what you're doing, and the product speaks for itself. I mean, you obviously have to have good marketing so people know about it, but what you're doing, I mean, the success speaks for itself, man. So congratulations. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome for the podcast that the timing is so great that you just sold out of stuff like yesterday.
Oh man,
I mean,
seriously.
The sun shines on a dog dash. Some days you get lucky,
Yeah, that was I mean, it's not something I really wanted to happen, but really exciting. And my wife Star and I last night we opened a bottle of champagne and we celebrated. We had no earthly idea that the reception would be like it is out of the gate, and that's been super cool. Finally to have a product to share and one that people really love has been really fun.
It's your baby and it's how you want it, and it's quality, and you're getting good feedback on it. I mean, that's what we want. It's like putting out a record, man. You put your heart and soul into it, and if you hear one person come back to you and be like, man, that's amazing, it just warms your heart up, and you're like, this is my art. I shared my art with someone and they liked it. As an artist, that's what you like. I mean, you're an artist too. You're a musician too. So, and a lot of people that are probably watching right now don't know that, but I mean, it's your passions in it, and it shows with the product. I haven't had my hands on it yet. We're talking about doing in studio. For the next time we see Matt, we're going to be standing next to him by the
eating his pizza,
and we're going to be making a pizza and talking trash and drinking beers because
that has to happen.
So let me ask you, Matt. Let me ask you, what do you like personally on your pizza? I like anything. You? What do you like?
I like everything as well, except for I'm not a huge. I like onions if they're cooked, and I'm mushrooms.
Me
I
too.
just can't do them, and I know that's really.
Well,
yeah, I know.
Different strokes, man.
I mean,
different strokes.
I don't like mushrooms either.
Depends on the mushroom.
So is there a specific type of mushroom? If you had to eat one, you would prefer?
Yeah, there probably would be one. Maybe back in the college days. No. So I actually have a recipe on the website called the Don Framptonio.
Okay.
And it's pepperoni, hot sausage, prosciutto, roasted red pepper, roasted garlic, and then after it's done, finished with cool ricotta dollops and fresh basil, and then a little Romano on top.
Yeah.
And on the Detroit crust, that's my jam right there.
I just had a heart attack.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a one and done slice thing, man. Oh.
That's what I like, though. I don't want to sit around eating 5 slices of pizza, man.
Right,
I want one good slice.
Yeah, just give me one piece, man. I can eat when Pizza Hut comes here and we have a thin crust and it's like a Supreme Domino's or a Pizza Hut. I can eat like 27 pieces of that. It's like just eating little pieces of cardboard. Do
you remember Dusty in Omaha? There used to be this place called Home Team Pizza.
Yeah.
Did you ever eat there? And these extra
they
large pizzas were like. Yeah, they were like 20 inches, but they were seriously like, it was like eating a slice of paper.
Yeah. It's nothing. It's nothing, terrible. Man.
A little floppy, a little greasy. Yeah.
We probably ordered those at the house off of 120.
They were delivered till like 5 a.m. I'm guarantee we ordered many.
That's the only reason I knew
the Normandy surprise.
That's the only reason. We had a recipe. Me and Matt, we used to be in a band together, and we like back when I was in college, and I think Matt was just out of college. But we had
I'm hungry too, sister.
We had a house together when we were in a band, and we used to make it. What was in the Normandy surprise? It was SpaghettiOs.
It had some hamburger.
What else was in that?
Some Fritos.
You guys were some college kids, huh?
Oh man, that may be the first recipe ever developed that I've ever been part of developing, and we did it together.
We did. I'd like to think
the Normandy surprise. Oh man,
that I have a big part in your success.
Yeah. Whenever I mention that dish, right? When I mentioned that dish to Star. Oh yeah, the Fritos. The Fritos were that was the touch.
Have you made it for your son yet?
No, I think every time I mention that dish, my wife gags a little.
Yeah, rolls her eyes. Yeah, because she was around during those days.
Yeah, she
was definitely around during those days.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you're not eating that.
Oh man, a Normandy surprise.
So,
Amos used to smash the home team with Wells.
Yeah, of course.
That's one of my barbecue teammates right there, Ryan Amos.
Ryan Amos, how's it going, brother?
Thanks for joining.
I actually saw Ryan Amos in Wichita at a Clutch show.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I was walking.
If you go to a Clutch show, you have a good opportunity of seeing Ryan Amos anywhere.
Our Pat Hebert, the big fish himself, he's wondering if you call it ham or Canadian bacon.
Ooh. I think they're two different things.
Are they?
Are they?
Yes,
you're the pizza master. Don't look at me. I'm a fucking meat salesman.
Canadian bacon is like ham, but it's a round circle and it's processed a little differently. Ham to me is like the actual cut from the pig that you smoke or whatever, so I see them as two different things. If that's an okay answer.
Canadian bacon.
It's all okay on this show, Matt. This is a safe space.
Canadian bacon technically is a pork tenderloin that's cured and sliced.
That's right. It's a totally different cut.
It's a totally different cut. So that's the difference between Canadian bacon and ham.
Yeah,
man,
it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
Not only do you get great recipes, great stories, great camaraderie, you learn things when you tune into the Sprout and Dusty show.
No shit.
For all of you out there,
I didn't think Sprout knew what it was.
Looking to settle the score on Canadian bacon and ham. We just settled it right here, folks.
Right here.
It's all over. It's all over. The debate is done.
So next time you order Eggs Benedict and you ask for ham, you might be slapped. I'm just saying.
You might.
You might. And depending on where you go get it, but That's what
And
it
the
is.
next time someone asks is if you call it Canadian bacon or ham, you say yes.
Yes.
Ham.
and I don't get mad over people calling Canadian bacon ham. Fuck it. It's kind of what it is, you know?
Okay. How about this one? Right back.
Sure.
Is a grill, like a gas grill, a barbecue?
I would think not.
No. I say it's a
Okay.
grill. I say it's a grill.
Like a grill, you know, you use actual coals, wood, whatever. That's old school grassroots barbecue grilling right there. There wasn't no gas in the prehistoric age. Not that was coming out of the ground at that time that people didn't recognize, but you know, it's your basic fire to meat, man.
Hey guys, if you haven't done it yet, start a watch party. I'm starting a watch party at my house. My son's coming down here and he's curious about what's going on.
What's going on?
Say hi, Lucas.
What's up, little one?
Say hi.
How are
Hey.
you?
All right, I'll be up in a second. Go get mommy. I love you.
Awesome.
Start a watch party, guys. We just started one here. We're partying all the time. Please do that. It gets people new eyes on the show, helps our sponsors, helps our guests out, and all that type of stuff. I know people out there right now are probably checking out the Urban Slicer stuff, and you're probably going to be getting some new orders, hopefully, from the Sprout and
right.
people. There's probably a bunch of people out there that are got the munchies. People out there that are ready. I'm
about to have the munchies in about 15 minutes. I'm just saying.
We're T minus 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
You know it, brother.
I should have made a pizza live here and just sat here and ate while you guys talked and
just make everyone jealous as hell.
Yeah.
Hey,
we'll do next time. You two guys will come into town and we'll do it here.
We will. That's a day. We should do that. That would be an awesome episode. If anyone out there would like that, please let us know. I'm willing to travel, man. I've been wanting to take my kids to Omaha to go to the zoo up there. The Henry Dorley Zoo is the best zoo on the planet. So I want to take my kids to that zoo, and now you got to make me a pizza.
Yep.
You're gonna do a podcast from your house and do a pizza, and
I'm in.
I want one of each.
We'll do a brisket too. You got to bring the brisket though.
I'll bring the brisket. That's a deal. That's a deal. Sprout,
you
just bring your ass.
And beer. What?
Bring your ass.
Bring my ass.
Munchies. Bring your munchies.
Yeah, I'll bring the munchies. Don't even worry about that.
Right.
I always got the munchies. I stay having the munchies.
So Matt, are you still playing music at all, or do you not have time for it anymore, or what?
I don't have time to do it any seriously or seriously in any way, but I do jam when I can.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
I got my drums set up in the basement. I have my basses all hanging up and the amps out, and the kids like to play. We got the piano out right there, and the keyboard.
Cool. Sweet.
Guitar's out. So at least once a month I'm picking it up. Less during the pandemic because I work from home in my day job, and I would play almost every day over lunch or something. But now my wife's working here and the kids are learning here. And
right.
Yeah, it's
totally changes the dynamic on things too, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a little different. Although I was on a Zoom session with a colleague earlier today, and he has I've never even heard of these like quiet mesh pads you can put and quiet cymbals.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I saw him on Sweetwater. I'm totally ordering those things.
I saw a guy back in the day just like go to a hobby store and buy felt, and he just cover up the heads and he cover up the cymbals somehow. Just draped them over, and that's how he practiced in his apartment. And I was wow, it actually worked.
You still get the sound, but it's like 25% of the sound.
Right.
I beat the crap out of the drums, so there's no quiet when I play at all, and so I need something like that. I'm gonna have to do that.
Right. So, tell me, is there anybody, any kind of person that says they're into pizza? Is there anything about some of these people that you don't like? Is there certain things about people's opinion on pizza that upset you? Because I get mad every time somebody says they don't like anchovies. And I'm like, y'all don't know what y'all missing.
And I'll say the same thing about pineapple. So many people smash on that, but I actually have a recipe. It is. I have one out on my website called Hawaii 5. Oh yeah. And it's got some pineapple on it. And I just started tinkering. There's this place in Nebraska called Chili Dogs Foods of Fire, and they have a habanero infused pineapple jelly, and that with ham and some cheese, or Canadian bacon if you prefer. Yeah,
quiet, Dusty. Don't want to confuse everybody. God damn it!
Right, is really good. Mm-hmm. But no, I don't. I'm to each their own on pizza. You know, I think the possibilities are endless. Make whatever the heck you want.
I've had some disgusting taco pizzas over the years. I'll tell you that.
You know what? You can really mess up a taco pizza, which is shocking because it's hard to mess up a taco.
Right. It's hard to mess up a taco, but on a taco pizza, there's something weird about the lettuce. Like sometimes they get real heavy with the lettuce, and you're like trying to eat a pizza, but you're eating a salad with the tomato, like fresh tomato on top of it, and it just doesn't.
Taco salad pizza. That's what they should call it.
And it has to go on right before you eat it.
I don't want to eat taco pizza. I want to eat tacos or pizza.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Tacos are awesome. Pizza are awesome.
I will say, Casey's General Store makes a pretty mean taco pizza.
Yeah, dude.
Casey's has gotten me through some hard times.
Yeah,
I got heartburn already.
Straight up.
Yeah, you do. It's a heartburn-inducing meal at Casey's for sure, man. But I can eat their breakfast pizza all the time.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. I saw what's that pizza review, guys? Is it Dave Portney? Is that his name? The Barstool guy. I don't know if you've seen him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have.
He just smashed on Casey's in their review. Someone drug him out there. I think it's decent, man.
Man, whatever. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
We have Ziggy's here, man.
There's a Nazi for everything these days.
There's a local place here called Ziggy's that has. There's a local place here called Ziggy's that has really good pizza.
Godfather's is good.
Yeah, Godfather's had good taco pizza. That's true.
Yeah, they do. I think they put the crunched up Doritos on the top too.
So how did you get you have like a certification? You're like a pizza ninja or whatever. You're like a black belt in pizza now.
That's actually the technical term, pizza ninja.
Pizza black belt. So tell people about the qualifications. Like you went to From what I understand from social media, I mean, you went away for a while and studied under some pizza, like the Helio Gracie of pizza.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's yeah. So the guy's name is Tony Gemignani, and he's a 13-time world pizza champion over in Italy, and he has a restaurant in San Francisco, which is one of the biggest pizzerias in the world by revenue. Has every oven, so he can do Chicago deep dish, Chicago cracker thin, Detroit style, grandma pizzas, Sicilian pizzas, Neapolitan pizzas, coal fireds.
How many ovens? You name it. To do all that.
He's got a cold fired oven, he's got a wood fired oven, and then he has like 6 different brick ovens that he runs at different temperatures.
Wow. Okay.
And it's all on the menu, and he has an employee that literally his only job is he's the fire the pizza guy. So
yeah,
if someone orders a margarita that takes 88 seconds to cook and a Detroit style pizza that takes 20 minutes to cook, they want them to go to the table at the same time. Well, that guy's responsibility is to make them fire at the right time.
Okay.
And me, having never worked in a restaurant before, I learned a ton there. So it was actually, I totally lucked out. Last class before everything got shut down in San Francisco, I spent 8 days out there. It's called the International School of Pizza, and had to pass by taking an exam, but also running his restaurant with the 3 other people I was taking the class with, and walked away with a certification from Sicily, Italy, and America. That it's a rare group of people. There's 2 of us in Nebraska that have it, and the other one's David Lasoli from the Lasolamio family.
So do you have you have people that are wanting to? How does that come into play for you? So you have people that want to open restaurants, or people that want to just make their own pizza. People that want to open restaurants will hire you as a consultant to check their recipes, or what those credentials. What do those credentials get you?
Yeah. So if I were going to open a restaurant, it would help me get a larger loan for one, but I'm not going to do that. So for my business model, it's there's a crest that I can put and I can announce it with the packaging. It brings some more clout to the product I'm putting out without question. I teach classes. It'll get me and has gotten me more better attendance at the classes. I'm doing more private classes that people want in their homes right now. I'm actually going out to people's outdoor kitchens, and during the last several months, I've been doing a lot of that. And it's just a house owner, his spouse, his kids, and their spouses, maybe 6 to 8 people, and it's one of my favorite things to do. It's super intimate. Lots of one-on-one, lots of hands-on versus a larger classroom, which is what I was doing before.
So it is like pizza. Yeah. You're like a pizza black belt now. You're like doing
kind of
because like when you get your when you get your black belt in jiu-jitsu, right? It almost they say you first start your jiu-jitsu journey when you get your black belt. So it takes the average guy around 10 years to get his black belt in jiu-jitsu. So you've been working on this for 10 years at least, right?
Yeah, a little over 10.
It's almost like you went out there and you got your black belt, and now you're a jiu-jitsu ninja, a legitimate black belt jiu-jitsu ninja, pizza ninja. They can travel around and teach people the ways. So like when you get your black belt in jiu-jitsu, you can travel around and people will pay you to do seminars. So like bring you into their, they'll bring guys into their gym, and you go in there and show you go in there and show people a couple of your techniques or a couple of your skills that you're good at. So that's basically what you're doing. It's basically, I'm still trying to understand it. So it's basically a way to like legitimize your skill set, to like say, this dude is legit. He knows his shit, trust him to come over here and make your product better.
Totally. And there's been a lot of restaurants in Omaha. I would never call them out, but they have consulted with me personally to do some recipe changing. A couple of different bars, a really good sized pizzeria that's well respected around town actually called me, and I did some work for them, and it's nice to I learn from them as well. We learn from each other and collaborate. I mean, there's no one right way to do it.
Right,
for
sure. Everyone has there's
some wrong ways. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's so weird how that compares to everything else, how it compares to the journey of a musician, the journey of a martial artist, the journey of anything. Like, it's so weird that we're tying this into the stuff that our show has been about mostly up until now. But having like diverse guests on is something that me and Sprout wanted to do. And you're probably the most diverse guest that we've had on so far, but we're able to like tie it back, because everyone that's doing this, everyone that's doing it on this level that we're doing it at, you can't afford to be a dickhead. You can't afford to be, it comes back to authenticity once again. If you're not, it's gonna show quickly, and clearly you have the authenticity, man. You're getting hired and people are consulting you. So again, kudos to you. I got a really interesting question from our producer Derek. Actually,
I was just about to get to that. Go ahead.
He wanted to get your thoughts on pizza minus carbs and all the different crust types. He's diabetic.
Derek's
been fighting with that, so he's curious about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massively growing market. I wish I could put a really good one in a package quickly. I'm working on one. So I'm working on a gluten-free one, and I'm working on a keto version. The keto one's further away. It's really hard. There's some good recipes out there that require like cheeses. Like if you put like a mozzarella cheese or something in there, that kind of helps it stick together as a crust. But huge market. I have made the chicken one where you basically pound out chicken breasts like a giant chicken breast, and that's your pizza dough crust. And you can do that, instead of the dough. But certainly a huge growing market with a lot of opportunity for someone with the business like we have with Urban Slicer. It's just going to take a while to get there. I want the products to really stand out, and I don't want to rush it. So it's just a lot of effort in the R&D.
Well, yeah, I imagine in that space there's a ton of innovation where things are like exponentially getting more and more, as the science develops on that stuff, because you're hearing so much more about these food allergies and all this stuff. People are more sensitive to different kinds of foods. I notice as I get older, I'm way more sensitive to different kinds of foods. So like there's so
I'm not experiencing any of that.
You have an iron
Me
gut.
either.
You're one of a kind. I guess
People call me a robot or an
I guess
alien.
I'm a
or
little
something.
bitch. See you guys.
For some reason, I don't feel very good the next day after I drink too much, but
Weird.
I'm not sure if that's an allergy or.
Yeah, I think you're allergic. You're allergic to those 15 Coors Lights.
Well, no, I mean, I took a blood test like some years back, like 4 years ago. It cost about $600, and it basically told me everything that my body reacts to. My body reacts to certain things, but it'd have to be like massive. Like gluten doesn't treat me as bad as it might treat somebody else. It just doesn't. Everybody's makeup is different, and a lot of it has to do with what somebody's diet is already anyways.
Well, as I get older, something that I'm really noticing lately, especially like my wife and I have started eating a lot cleaner.
Oh, for sure, me too.
The first few weeks of the quarantine shit, I was like, man, fuck this. It's only gonna last 3 weeks. I'm and so I was just eating whatever the hell I wanted, making up huge meals. I was like, I'm not going to the gym. I'm not practicing. I'm gonna sit around,
taking a bag of chips to the couch.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down and fuck around on my computer and try to get my podcast shit going.
Netflix it up.
Yeah, my pants started getting real tight. And so I decided to make a change. I started to run, and then the gym opened back up, and my wife and I eating a lot cleaner and that type of stuff. And I can eat foods that are dense or with gluten or whatever it is if they're quality ingredients and they're not super processed. But if I'm eating like super greasy, fried, processed, I don't know. Like if I eat like cheap pepperonis from the deli or something like that, it's disgusting. It's delicious when I eat it.
You feel tired.
Yeah.
After you get lethargic. If you eat food and get lethargic, something's not good with the food you just ate.
I don't even really eat pepperoni on pizza that often, but the last time I got a pepperoni pizza, it was at Mazzio's, and it was a chain I saw in Oklahoma somewhere when I lived there. And there's this television commercial for Pat's telling on you, dude.
Maybe twice. Maybe twice.
Pat's telling on you.
No, he's right. I probably jogged twice. I hurt my knees when I went out because I'm too old to jog now.
Oh man, dude, you'll be all right, man. Just lightly jog. Just go around the block a couple times. You'll be good. Power walk.
Do like the you betcha guy and go for a walk and then have like the beer drinking spot around the corner of the house where there's no windows so no one can see you.
Right. And it's weird. It's become to the point where my exercise regimen has to involve violence or I'm just not interested in it. Like I go run and I'm like, this is the most boring thing ever. I go lift. I used
to be like you, Dusty.
I do sit-ups, I do push-ups. Like, this is so boring. And then I go to the gym and it's an hour where you're just getting the shit kicked out of you, but you don't even. I mean, it goes by in 30 seconds by the time it's done, and it's like it's the only thing I can do nowadays that I actually like to do. But like it's shit. It's processed shit that makes me feel bad. And I ate like the last couple days. I ate a couple meals I shouldn't have ate, and I paid for it, dude. It just makes me feel like crap.
Yeah,
you can't sleep.
You gotta listen to your body, man. Your body tells you everything you need to know most of the time, man. If there's just something that doesn't make you like, I love Jack Daniels. I love the taste of it. I love the burn. I love the charcoal. I love everything about it. But as I got older, it wouldn't treat me so good in the morning. So me not being a quitter, I found other liquor that didn't make me feel so bad the next day. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes. But tequila, I've always liked tequila, but I just realized in the last 3 or 4 years that it doesn't make me feel as bad the next day. And
yeah, that's my wife's go-to. She found the same thing. Tequila, as long as it's good stuff, you can't drink the junk.
Yeah, I don't mess with Cuervo and tequila all that much, man. I'm a grown.
Cheap tequila is almost as bad as cheap gin.
Okay.
Cheap gin is the worst.
I had this conversation with a few people the other day. Every liquor, for the most part, we've all been at the bar. All right, let's get a round of shots of you name it.
Yeah.
Right.
No one's ever done that with gin.
No.
I've never heard anybody.
Let's get a night out with some shots of gin.
Let's get a Tanqueray shot.
I've never heard that. No,
I've never heard that. But
it's
I think
always
with
in a
every
mixed
single-
drink.
It tastes like
Right.
bug spray.
Yeah. Oh, or yeah, like you
Oh,
just
that
ate a
shit straight
pine-
tastes like Raid. The only time it don't taste like Raid is when you mix it with a lot of like, it's when you mix it with like olive juice to make a dirty martini. That's the only time it don't taste like Raid. Then it tastes like salty Raid. That's all it tastes
Right.
like. I'll get those because
like
you get messed up, you know? Like,
right.
Yeah, I can't I'm just so much more fickle as I get older with what I eat and what I put in my body. And if I want to be any type of athletic, or if I want to be any type of fit, do you have a fridge right by where you are, Matt?
I have my Grizzly cooler right
you
down
guys
here.
that are listening, we're on video now. I can see him, and I'm sitting here right now as we speak, wishing I had another beer. And
I wish I could hand you one.
I don't have a fridge.
One.
I don't have a fridge in my jam room yet. I texted someone upstairs. I texted my assistant to bring me one, but I'm
Bring beer now, please.
I'm guessing that's not going to happen.
getting low.
I'm guessing it's not going to happen.
Right? Yeah.
Top
Wink,
shelf
wink.
gin is amazing.
Top shelf gin is amazing.
What is a top shelf gin?
I like personally, I like Beefeater gin. And I like if I had to drink gin, I like Beefeater and Bombay. I like those two.
Bombay Sapphire is good. I like Tanqueray. Okay, yep, Sapphire was always.
Is somebody
mine.
taking care of Dusty? Is somebody gonna get Dusty?
Can
Is
anyone
somebody taking care of Dusty?
This is Grant. If you're watching, can you please bring me up?
Ding dong,
Is
go
somebody
ahead.
taking care of Dusty?
She'll be gone when I get upstairs. She'll have left me.
Hey, real quick, I saw someone ask earlier where you can buy the pizza dough mix in
Go ahead.
Omaha.
Answer that for sure.
Well, so there's 4 places in and around Omaha. I don't know if you're still with David, but Helping You Barbecue on 156th and Dodge. And then Rake's Beef in Ashland has it, which is a Wagyu beef store. So while you're there, buy some beef. They got great beef. And then Tailgating Envy, which sells Green Mountain Grills and other stuff for your tailgates. And that's in Gretna. And in Blair, Nebraska, Chili Dogs, Foods of Fire carries it. So you got those 4 options in Omaha right now.
Right on. You heard it here first, y'all.
Omaha area people, get on it. Tell us about your ingredients. Since we're talking about ingredients, tell us about your ingredients. I know you can't tell us the super secret ninja shit, but you can at least tell us the ingredients, right?
Yeah, the basics. Yeah.
We don't want you to disclose anything you're uncomfortable disclosing.
We don't want you to have to go down 2 miles underground and go to your vault and start unlocking stuff to tell us. But just give us a little.
It's like the KFC spices in a vault somewhere.
Yeah. Ridiculous if you ask me.
Yeah, it is. And probably more marketing than anything. But
right.
The Neapolitan dough is intended to be like a traditional wood fire that rises up, has that rim of super wet, get the web looking kind of crust in there.
Yeah.
That has a really, really high gluten flour.
Okay.
And that gluten is essentially the strength of flour and how it holds up under a bake. And so the higher the gluten, the better it'll hold up under a longer bake.
Okay.
Yep. So it balloons up. And then going down, the Detroit has slightly less of that, and it has some semolina flour in it to give it some grit and a little bit of a texture that you don't get in the Neapolitan. And the grilling dough has a really low gluten flour, so it stays more thin and crispy.
Do you think
so? That's the main difference of the 3.
Do you think that's why is that your most popular, the grilling one?
Neapolitan is the #1 selling.
Okay.
And the grilling is right on its tails. And Detroit's been selling a lot, but mostly as part of what we're calling the Works package, which is you can buy all 3 off of our website. I suspect, but I don't know, that the Detroit will pick up in the winter because it's more of a in your oven and a pan inside.
Heats up the house a little bit.
Yeah. And the Detroit one, which we still have in stock, is my personal favorite by far. So,
well, I've seen I've seen the Detroit recipes, and I've personally never had a pizza of that style. So that intrigues me. When I come up there, I'm probably going to wait till it gets cold, and then we're gonna drink stout beers and have a really dense piece of Detroit pizza. I mean, that just sounds good.
That's the only reason I don't really go out to pizza places anymore. A lot of the times, like these chain places, because they don't have beer.
Yeah, exactly, man. So see how that pan is shaped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that angle there, what happens when that's a Detroit pizza pan. When you put the cheese all around the edge, it actually melts down those angles and it'll caramelize the outside of the whole edge. And it's like a
Hell
grilled
yeah.
cheese on the edge, man. It's
nice.
insanely good.
And I've watched those videos, and I was wondering, but I guess I didn't pick up that concept from it, that it was actually the cheese itself was actually forming around the outside. I knew, I thought maybe it was like I thought maybe it was the dough or whatever. Because I don't know about the technical side of pizza. I just know that I like to eat a lot of it. And I ask you about the ingredients, and I'm thinking to myself, like, so I'm guessing for a style of pizza that you're like, I personally don't give a crap about the healthiness when I'm eating pizza. I want to eat a wholesome.
Yeah, I don't associate health with pizza at all.
No,
it's a comfort. It's a comfort thing.
I love pizza. And pizza's not terrible for you anyway. I mean, a lot of people say, but so for you to have the quality of the crust that you're getting, and for you to have the desired result of what you want for people, you have to have a certain amount of that, because it's like a chemistry thing at that point, right? Like there's really no substitute for that. And there's like a lot of experimenting that goes into developing that formula, that mixture to make that dough like you want it. Am I accurate in that?
Behind Matt right there is a science lab. Right behind Matt is a science lab, bro.
We could go down a big wormhole here, but the people that we have worked with on this are normally in the like sauce and the barbecue rub. So a little extra paprika here, a little extra salt there, no big whoop. But with baking, it is science and it is chemistry. So and I, the whole goal has been make it simple, very easy to use, but still world-class quality. So I wanted it to be just add water. Well, a couple of things played into all of that. One, we had to make sure that the packaging was very consistent. My plus minus factor on how much is in the package has got to be this big, because just a little too much or a little too little on either side can either make the dough can make the dough dry or sticky and hard to deal with.
First impression.
And then the other, exactly, yeah. And then the other one that was tough to get around was the yeast, because yeast next to salt, buddy, in dry form actually will die. And so we developed a yeast that has a small coating around it to protect it in the package. And the water, once it hits it, it dissolves quickly. And the dough recipes that I've had online for a long time are like multi-day ferment them in your fridge kind of thing.
Right.
For total super nerds, pizza nerds. And I just didn't want to do that with this one. So it lights up really quick. It rises in 2 hours. You'll form a dough ball, and 2 hours later, it'll be 3 times its size.
Right.
And, so we were able to achieve that super active, high quality. It took us 18 months of.
So sounds
about right.
Yeah, there's a ton of science behind that. So like who is the R&D? Is it you? You're just experimenting with different stuff, and are you like you're looking around the industry? Or
do you work with anybody within your company or anything, or is it just you, or
like a chemist or anything like that like could tell you this? How is this? I imagine there's a ton of innovation taking place in the science of pizza to try to create doughs that are more healthy for people that have food allergies and stuff like that. So like when you're you're obviously factoring that in the future of your business plan, probably, because I know you well and you probably are. So like when you're researching that, are you doing the research yourself? Are you experimenting yourself? Do you have somebody that you're keeping like at the forefront?
Do you use consultants?
Yeah, the science.
Yeah, I have I have 2 different food scientists that I consult with. One of them is at the plant that does the blending, and then another one is a good family friend who works for ConAgra, and she's been super helpful. I have taken what I know about it and tried things, and I've learned a lot, and I've read a ton on it. It's not my profession, so I kind of create the baseline for where to start. And then we run that as a sample, and then I test it. And if it's not quite right, then I work with the food scientist to adjust and, make tweaks as necessary.
They they test the chemical
Hey
makeup.
sis, how you doing?
They might
My
tell
sister's
you,
a scientist.
you need a little less acid on this, or you need a little less of. I don't
Right.
know.
Totally. Yep, all of that, and then
I don't know.
that's totally right. And then in this business, you have to think about shelf life and
Yeah.
economics. So we had, I wanted quality, but there is a price to pay for that quality. So we had to test a ton of different flours. My first run, I wanted for the Neapolitan, I wanted an Italian imported flour, so I could say it was legit Neapolitan dough mix, which is
Right.
really what you need. But when you do the math, there's just may as well just light a match. So we had to
Right.
find an alternative that was made in the U.S. that was just as good, and we did. And so that part's been pretty tricky. But
Well, I know we didn't want. I know you didn't want to just talk pizza the whole time, but like it's for a guy that doesn't know a lot about the stuff behind it. The more we talk about it, it's becoming a little bit more fascinating to me.
Ask away, man. I'll talk all day.
I've learned a lot more about it than I would have ever thought that I would today. It's we've blown through almost an hour here just talking about.
I want to talk about his barbecue a little bit.
Yeah. Let's talk about barbecue, or let's talk about some past.
Because, like I said, I was going to have the munchies in about that time frame, so it's about that time right now. Let's talk about some ribs. Let's talk about some brisket.
Right now, I imagine
let's talk about that.
Viewers and listeners are out there ordering pizzas, and they're disappointed that they can't get yours.
Right. So what are the things that you like to compete with in your barbecue tournaments? So I understand like the contestants can sign up to do certain things: burgers, ribs, brisket, pulled pork. What are your specialties?
Our team since day one has competed on it's kind of like you got NASCAR, you've got the Indy, they're kind of two different things.
Right.
There's one called the Kansas City Barbecue Society. KCBS is the acronym used a lot, and it's a standard format. Yeah. So they have a chicken category, which you can cook any cut of chicken you want, pork ribs, pork shoulder, and brisket. So those are your four categories, and you get to really win. You have to cook all four and do all four well. And then you get awards for each of the individuals, and then there's an overall points winner at each of those. So most of those contests, you show up on a Friday night, party through the night, maybe start cooking, and then you start turning in at noon on a Saturday, and it usually goes in order of chicken, ribs, pork, brisket, and then the award ceremony is later that day. So then if you have not been to one, you have to go to a barbecue contest when things open back up. They're a blast.
I've been to a contest, but I've never been to a major contest.
I've been to the Royale.
Okay.
You have?
The Royale in KC, yeah. I've been to it. I went to it twice. Like one of our customers at work was they were competing in it or whatever, and they invited all of us down because we were selling them the meat. And man, we just went down there, and this guy was up, 2 a.m. He's standing out by there. He's like, man, I'm going to stand out here tonight and drink this whole bottle of Booker's. And I'm like, I'm going to stand here right next to you. I have no idea what you're doing, but I'm going to stand here right next to you. When that shit comes off, I'm trying it.
It won't be this year, but Friday night at the American Royal is one of the biggest parties in the history of the country. It's crazy, man. I mean, there's 700 teams, and they've got 3 to 5 people on each of those teams, and then they bring their friends in, and then 100,000 people just come to party. And there's probably 40 bands playing at least. You just walk around the different teams, and they all have private events, and you can watch all the bands play. So music is a huge part of it. In fact, last year, Dusty, Kirk Webb was playing down there 2 nights in a row. I went over and watched him. He's a guy Dusty and I used to jam with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so now are you planning on still continuing the barbecue competition stuff?
Absolutely.
Ancillary to the pizza. It's not one or the other. You can continue to do both.
It's a big part of my business plan, actually, because the reason I've been able to get into a lot of these stores quickly is a lot of the store owners compete, and so for 15 years, I kind of knew it, but I didn't really understand the magnitude of it. I've just been networking. You know,
Of course, yeah.
Wow.
our team has been a mainstay. Teams have come and gone, and very few have been around nonstop for the last 15 years, and we're one of them. And so that's been a really big part of it, and I plan on still using it. And it's a marketing opportunity every time we go out to meet new people. And since I'm using, backyard stuff for a lot of my demos and the cooking of pizzas, it makes sense. It's a good platform.
So when it picks up, how many shows a year do you do? I mean, like if you're on tour,
on average,
how many shows is your tour in a year? Like you're working full time, you have your brand, you have your family, you have all that stuff. I mean, we all understand that. But like when you guys are hitting the barbecue circuit hard, how many shows a year is it?
Hard for us. I think in 1 year we did like 15, which takes up 15 weekends.
That's a lot.
Because you're traveling out Friday and you're traveling back, Saturday or Sunday. The guys that chase points to win the whole thing, they're doing 35 to 45.
Is that all they do? Of course, it has to be. It's not all.
No. Most of them they work it out with their. No, some of them most of them have families or restaurant or their restaurants,
or catering or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they work it out with their employer, or they own their own business to be able to take that Friday off, and they just work 4-day weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It is, without sponsors, it is the most expensive hobby on the planet. It's
I can imagine.
Fuel and your gas and everything, you're $1,200 in before you leave your house.
Before you get into it, including before you buy the raw materials for the barbecuing, because you have to. I mean, that's you're going to spend a shitload of money on that too,
on meat in particular.
So that $1,000 to $1,200 is your entry fee, your meat, your rubs, your sauces, your beer, your food for the weekend, your fuel to get there.
So do you buy your own
trailer? It's 6 hours, 6 miles to the gallon.
Does everyone have the opportunity? Does everyone have the opportunity to buy their own raw materials, meat, or does everyone get the same meat and they have to cook it and see who cooks it the best? So
for barbecue, you bring your own meat.
You do, okay.
Yeah.
So I was wondering how they did the control on that.
So when you show up, they do a meat inspection, and you have to have your meat can be trimmed, but it can't have anything on it. So it can't be brining. It can't have a rub sitting on it, anything like that. You have to come into the contest with it trimmed only, and it has to be the cuts that you're supposed to cook. So you can't show up with. I mean, if you turned in a tenderloin, someone would know anyway. But you have to. They check to see if it's a brisket, and
you'd hope so.
And then they also check your ice and make sure you're properly storing it and all those things.
Wastewater and everything like that.
But as far as limitations on what you can buy. Can you? I mean, if you have the budget, I mean, you can just buy a freaking Wagyu, amazing, super expensive brisket, as opposed to a guy that may not have the scratch to do that, and he's cooking like a select brisket. You just pull them out of the water. So eventually, that makes the hobby more expensive, right? Because everybody's looking for a source of the best shit they can find.
And most people have never had Wagyu before.
You know what?
A whole other challenge to source your stuff and all that. So how do you go about doing that?
Yeah. So, and Amos is on here too still, I think. When we first started, it was probably half of the amount I said, and because of the Wagyu stuff, if you don't bring a Snake River Farms Wagyu brisket to the contest, you've already taken off 25% of your chance of winning that category.
Gotcha.
Judges are so used to it because everyone's cooking it. So it's $220 for a brisket every contest. You have to have it shipped, and it's very expensive. So if you go in with a select or choice brisket, I would say you have no chance of winning. If you go in with a good prime brisket that you've hand selected, you have a chance, but you pretty much have to cook Wagyu. The judges are so used to it now, and everybody's doing it.
Buying that? Are you buying it direct from the companies? Like you can just go online and order them, or like how are you sourcing that stuff? Because you're obviously not buying a ton of volume, so like packers can't ship it direct to you,
right?
And it's hard to get it's hard to get the good shit, right? So like
it is, yeah.
And if you don't want to divulge your secrets, you don't have to divulge them. I'm in the meat business, so I know how it is. But like, if you don't want to divulge,
he ain't telling you shit, Dusty.
I'm just curious.
I'll text you, Sprout. I'll text you.
All right.
Yeah.
Again,
No, take earmuffs. Just earmuffs.
He ain't telling you shit.
Yeah. No, it is no secret. It's and Rake's Beef here in Omaha is one of my favorite Wagyu producers.
Mhm.
But the Snake River guys out of Utah, they have a monopoly on it. Their briskets are massive. I don't know how big their cows are but they're 20-pound briskets cut off of a Wagyu cow, and they ship them one at a time if you want it, or you can buy 3 or 4. But it's about 200 to 220 shipped, and they have a gold and a black level brisket.
So they're getting 10 or $15 a pound for their briskets.
Yeah, right around there.
You know what a brisket's worth on the wholesale market today?
I don't know.
$2.
$2?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Select brisket?
Yeah, $2.
Oh man,
$2 a pound. I can sell you all the select briskets you want.
Just do that shit for
I'll
home.
take 100 of them.
Yeah, right.
The only problem is my minimums are 10,000 pounds.
Oh, see, let me carry the 2.
I ain't got a freezer for that, man. I ain't got a freezer
That
for that.
actually turns into 20 grand.
Plus the storage.
No freezer. For that.
And that's like in the meat industry, that's the type of volume that I'm familiar with. So it does intrigue me for this more boutique approach, how you guys source the product. I mean, that to me enough is like
right.
that's part of that's part of the sauce, baby. That's part of the reason we win is because of what we bring. So
the meat is a huge part of it.
That's like showing up to a tournament on weight. You know what I mean?
What do you look for in your Wagyu?
Well, for me, it's about I need a big one because I like to trim it back to an exact size, and so that 20 pounds quickly turns into about 7.
Right.
And we save the trimmings, and we'll make burgers or whatever out of it. But it's trimmed to a specific size that once it's cooked, don't have to cut anything off of it. You can just slice it, and it fits in the box that it's supposed to be turned in. So that's, presentation's a big part of the game.
Of course.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you got to start with something that looks nice that is going to fit. So for me, it's marbling. It's the how thick the flat of the brisket is. I don't want one that, is you need
just tapers off real bad. Yeah.
So do you have a chance? Matt, do you have a chance to? Excuse me. Do you have a chance to look at them before you purchase them, or are you buying them online?
Buying them online, and that's why I buy from them, is because they're always the same.
Trust them. It's like buying from Sweetwater music gear.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, there are places I can go pick through them, but I spend so much time doing that. I may as I've already wasted $200 worth of my time.
Right.
So
it's $200 that you're not making a flaky, gluten-free, super
exactly.
crust,
and you're just looking at meat. Yeah, looking at meat.
You can't
counting the fat grains and the.
Well, people don't understand. Like, I go to the grocery store and I'm looking at the meat case, and I'm like,
I did that shit last week.
I'm like, dude, you got it all wrong. I'm like, are you selling any steaks today? He's like, not much. I'm like, well, how? Because it looks like shit. Like, your retail case is all foggy. You don't have them standing up. You don't have them.
Yeah.
You tell them, Dusty.
You don't have the one with the most marbling in the front of the case. And he's like, bro, I make like $10 an hour.
Is that what he said?
I don't know.
Like, okay, I'm sorry.
Normally, I'm in the suddenly salad aisle. I don't really know.
That's funny.
I'm a nerd about it. When I walk through retail cases, I'm like, I see what's going on in the market.
It's like, I make $10 an hour.
You guys probably both know this. This is the super secret pro tip that hardly anybody knows. So Walmart sells ribeyes by the 3-pack.
Yes, I've seen those.
And they're actually really good, but they cut them and they get packaged in the order they were cut. And if you look at a ribeye, there's part of that it's actually a prime rib that's sliced.
The chuck end is shitty.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
So
bad.
if you sift through the packages, you will get the 3 best caps on each of those, or you can buy the other side of it where the 3 crappiest ribeyes you could possibly buy with the same exact
I see
price.
people looking
The
through
same
there, and
exact
I'm such a dick about it. Like I'll be standing at the grocery store, and I'm watching a guy look through steaks, and I'm at the counter, and I'm like
Excuse me.
kind of looking out of the corner of my eye, and he's looking through them, and he'll pick like the package of vein steaks, and he'll put them he'll put them in his car like he's all satisfied. And I'm like, bro, you just picked the fucking garbage, bro.
Dude, seriously. Oh, I'm gonna get the one with the least amount of fat.
Yeah, like it's gonna be like eating a tennis shoe.
Yeah, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you do that to yourself?
How do you like your Nike, Dusty?
Extra solely.
Well, yeah. One time my wife bought the steak truck came to my house or whatever, and I was at work, obviously, and I came home from work, and my wife's like, had a look on her face when I walked in. I'm like, what? She's like, you're gonna be mad at me. I'm like, what? She's like, I bought steaks from the door-to-door steak guy. I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
That's like Peggy Hill buying a like charcoal grill. That's what that's the equivalent of.
Right.
I got entangled with another man. I was like, let me see what you bought. Let me see what you bought. And I'm looking at him like, you're paying $8 a pound for bones right here. What are you doing? You're a psycho, man. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Oh man.
Why would you buy from the steak truck guy? He's been working there for 5 minutes. I've been in the meat industry for 16 years.
Yeah.
That sucks when you have to sell your meat skills to your wife.
I got a cooler. I got 1 million pounds of this shit in the cooler. What do you want? Like
that is amazing.
That's crazy.
But you would have thought she'd have cheated on me. Her face was like,
yeah.
We need to talk. I thought something.
I have really something bad to tell you. I'm so sorry.
You're gonna want to sit down. I'm like, about ready to walk out. And almost I'd have rather.
It's not you, it's me.
I'd almost rather she cheated on me than buy from the door-to-door steak shop.
Oh hell!
Honey, I'm so sorry. I bought somebody else's meat.
Oh man!
There's only one me in this house, woman.
Tisk. Tisk. Good God. So, I know, sis. I know, sis. That's some crazy shit.
Sorry, we went down the wormhole. It happens. It happens just about every episode.
It does.
It happens just about every episode.
We
go down a wormhole.
My face hurts.
Oh, hey guys, man. If you haven't done so yet, please share the show. Share it in watch parties. Share it in groups. And, please let your friends know about the show. If you guys like what you're hearing, we're going to keep pushing to try to bring good guests on. So far, so good. We've had an awesome response. This is episode 7?
8.
This is episode 8. Yeah, so we're on our 8th episode, and so far we're
rolling along.
Super pleased with the results. We're seeing good numbers and all that type of stuff. So please share it, guys. Please connect with Matt Frampton on social media. He is at Urban Slicer. Yep. You can go to his website. Matt, tell people where they can look you up. I'm not good at doing that.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, go to urbanslicerpizza.com. I am at Urban Slicer on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and TikTok, which I don't have much out there yet, but I'm thinking about doing some like dances while I make pizza or something. I don't know.
That's what's up. You should. You should.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll show some people my pizza dance moves.
You do a TikTok, yeah. But like, when are we gonna shoot? I think we should shoot for the live pizza episode. I'm gonna do this on camera so we hold ourselves accountable to actually do it.
I gotta make sure I can be there.
Well, no, we're not gonna nail down a date, but I think we should shoot for like September or October in the fall when it starts to cool off up there and it starts to smell like Nebraska football. We should have a we should grill a pizza and I don't even know if football is gonna happen, but we should
watch 1995 Husker games.
Yeah, that's fine. We can watch Corey Schlesinger.
The only year.
Right, Frazier run down the sidelines. But like, yeah, we should definitely do a live show where we cook a pizza and just chop it up, man, because I think this would be great. You've been an awesome guest tonight.
And we'll drink a whole bottle of Jim.
Yeah. No, he didn't say gin. He said Jim.
We'll drink a whole bottle of Jim.
If it's gin, I'm not coming.
You know what? Maybe we'll finish with shots of gin. After the bottle of gin. That should be a really productive day.
We'll have the ironic shots of gin segment.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the first 3 dudes on Earth taking shots of gin.
It'll be like, oh my gosh, what was the cop movie where it was like kept saying meow?
Super Troopers. Yeah, Super Troopers.
Gin or Jim? What are they saying? I don't know what they're saying. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, before we get out of here, I got a couple of things to mention. So a lot of you have just joined the Facebook page, started following it. Thank you guys very, very much for that. And keep tabs on what's going on at the Sprout and Dusty Show on Facebook. We're considering doing some things on Twitter and Instagram, so stay tuned for that. Also, please spread the word. If you like the episode tonight, man, check out some of our older episodes. We got them on Spotify and we have them on YouTube. So check those out. You get to see it. And I also want to thank backhomemedia.com for producing things for us, you know, having a good time.
Baby. Fat Kid.
Love the Fat Kid. And thanks for coming on the show, Matt. We really appreciate you stopping by.
My pleasure.
You're Absolutely. Always welcome. And I believe that our fans will demand our next show is live together, all 3 of us.
Yes.
I will go ahead and commit right now. We'll do that. October is a good month to do it. It'll cool down a little bit. Yeah. You guys can get your butts here. Let's do it for sure. And
all right.
You have an awesome show going on, guys. I love this.
Thank you.
So good.
Well, dude, when we're done, we'll get out the acoustic guitars and we'll sit around the bonfire and freaking jam out and
I'll be drunk and stoned probably. I'll sing really bad.
We need to do that. We need to do that. October it's gonna happen. Guys, Matt Frampton is a badass dude. He's got a heart of gold and he's doing great things. Please connect with his stuff. Please give him orders. Please try his dough. If you guys do make a badass pizza, send him a picture. He's an awesome dude, and I have a feeling he's going to be back on the show very soon. Matt, we love you, man. It was fucking great to have you on. Big Fish Bail Bonds, we love you for sponsoring this show. Back Home Media, we love you for producing this show. You guys, it's been a fucking opportunity of a lifetime to speak with you this evening. Gregory Allen Manuel, can you tell the people what to do?
Yo, Fat Kid, drop that beat.
Well,
I don't think it, I thought it, that's different. I said what I said and I meant it, or lamented. Words given weight without thought, and a person, the way that I talk and the way that I ought to be able to pause and to say that the fall can be placed on my arms. To display for the salt, to disgrace in this arm. Pray for the day they could wait for the calm. You can't control the storm, only weather it, whether it's 5 weeks and 5 days of rain sideways, or scorched earth, search for death, or water left with all the thorns, with the petals gone, settle on the breath of autumn.